Hi, this is Cajun, and it's time for a weekly conference call. First, why don't we start by looking at what's happening around the globe? We've got 30 million unemployed in the US only, and that doesn't bode very well for any economic ripples. But we're here with tools to help weather the storm. On the industry side, on our industry side, we're just looking at data and data sets becoming more prevalent as ever. And you can see by this COVID-19 pandemic, we've got data sets as taking the forefront in terms of how groups are intending to create solutions for this problem globally. We're also looking at a lot of noise, a lot of people offering NLP solutions that aren't real solutions, or people masquerading as AI companies. That's par for the course. It actually is a good sign. Eventually, the quality will rise above the noise. And that, of course, is what we anticipate doing as we communicate to the public about how we're executing on our story. As we look at the crypto sphere, an interesting development and significant development would be A16Z, or Andreessen Horowitz, establishing their second crypto fund. And I think it was over $500 million. And that bodes very well for the crypto industry. NASDAQ is also launching an institutional-grade digital assets ecosystem. And they intend to use blockchain, and they intend to list cryptos. And this is something we've been anticipating. We don't know exactly how they're going to do it or when, but we do have a line of communication with them. So we're intending to find out a bit more information so that we can take advantage of that when the time is right. On the internal corporate side, we have got to date, and this is since the beginning of the year, we've got about 60 signups. And that's just based on the limited communication to the public that we've engaged in. The 60 signups range from groups that would like data sets related to life sciences, to groups that are individuals that or academic institutions that would like data sets related to finance. So we're currently setting up meetings. We've been setting up meetings as these signups have come in. We've been about a couple of weeks off on replying to a few. That's just because of the intense amount of work we've been doing on the COVID-19 side. So we have some good news related to that as well. The 60 signups, it's actually over 60 right now. We've gotten more signups from the COVID-19 page. We've got about 5 signups since we've released it over the last few days, and we anticipate quite a bit more as we publish the new data sets that we have available. And we'll talk more about that in just a bit. We're also looking at dataset distribution sites. We're looking at over 50 of them right now. These are sites that provide access to datasets. They advertise their portals, their hubs, their information resources, search engines, aggregators, dataset marketplaces, API marketplaces. These are places that we have a short list of 50. We'll be listing our recent data set, our two data sets there, starting tomorrow. Some will be listed tonight as people work around the clock to list their data sets at these locations. On the engineering side, this is where we could say we've got a major breakthrough, but before we even talk about that, not every call, not every week we're going to have a major breakthrough. We're not going to have some kind of huge milestone that we can talk about. Sometimes it's just heads down engineering. And that's what in fact, even though we've made a breakthrough this week, we've been doing a lot of heads down engineering, and a lot of that includes debugging. And to give you an inside scoop, it took us almost 3 days straight to track down a bug that was causing an error in building this most recent data set. And this data set is 4,212 approved drug compounds correlated to 800 plus pharmaceutical companies in the context of COVID-19 research and newly published papers. In this data set, you'll also find phytochemicals and nutrients, food, micronutrients, plant compounds, and this is just serendipitous for us because we rely on a few drug databases out there, and one drug database, Drug Bank, classified approved drug compounds as certain phytochemicals and plant compounds. So we have this in the data set correlated to public companies. The purpose of this data set, of course, is if you are an asset management company or some kind of fund, trading house, prop desk, algorithm house, and you want to understand how to trade pharmaceutical companies that are involved with solutions related to COVID-19, then you would use this data set. Because if one company made strides, for example, remdesivir is the drug produced by Gilead Sciences, and if there was some breakthrough related to one drug, you might want to find a pharmaceutical company that's working on a similar drug within their pharmaceutical pipeline. Or you might want to find other pharmaceutical companies related to that drug compound because they might be working on a generic or something similar. They're going to go up in value, as we've proven in the past by our case studies, and as Gur Huberman proved in the past by that seminal paper that he wrote related to Ontramed, where rising tide lifts all boats. Well, this is where this data set comes in and enables funds to make large amounts of money based on the liquidity associated to pharmaceutical companies and based on the heavy attention and heavy funding associated to U.S. publicly traded pharmaceutical companies today and foreign pharmaceutical companies. So traders would like to create baskets of tradable equities that are pharmaceutical companies, and they like to trade those either on the long or the short side related to breakthroughs or related to clinical trial failures, related to drug compounds or vaccines in the context of COVID-19 research. So we're offering this data set. The reason this is a breakthrough is because it took us a long time to dial this in and make sure it was correct. And it's a major breakthrough because there is no other company offering a data set like this. And when you're in the data set world, the data set industry, it's important. Uniqueness is important, and it distinguishes you because you can offer something of value. So we intend to provide updates to this data set, real-time updates. And of course, that's where revenue model comes in. And we anticipate Amazon and Microsoft promoting this same data set. We have also we'll be contacting S&P Global and NASDAQ. So this relates to our customers, partners, and collaborators. And as you know, New Data is one of them. We'll be contacting New Data tomorrow with this data set. We've already contacted Bloomberg's Alternative Data Division with this data set. We've contacted Amazon and Microsoft. And we'll be, like I said, New Data tomorrow, and we'll be contacting S&P Global. They have an Alternative Data Division, and we'll be contacting NASDAQ's Alternative Data Division tomorrow on this data set. We've already contacted Accenture on this data set, so we'll be waiting to hear from them. On the data set outlets, if we move to IR and PR, investor relations, and press relations, we're at an extreme advantage because we're offering data sets within the context of COVID-19 and approved drug compounds. We know that it's not just important for us to distribute these data sets to draw attention to ourselves, but to make sure that the world knows that these data sets can be used to quicken a solution or accelerate the development of a drug or some kind of therapy related to COVID-19, and more importantly, any other infectious disease threats on the frontier, on the horizon. So we anticipate using all these data set distribution points, of course, including Amazon and Microsoft and Bloomberg and S&P Global and NASDAQ on the financial side, but the 50 others as individual PR outlets. Each one will be talking about our data sets. So we anticipate many more signups, and we're going to be looking to convert to revenue. This is what we are all about right now, is converting any customers to revenue, and that includes providing them with updates to data sets, custom data sets that they're interested in, or data sets that we have available today. We've updated our COVID-19.html page with the new data set we have available for download. You can download it today. It's a static version, so updates are available to paying customers. We are also thinking of partnering, well, we're in talks with an exchange, but we're more than just thinking of partnering. We're jointly developing a smart basket product for a group, an exchange in Europe, and we can provide more details on this during our next conference call. But this looks like a very nice partnership that will result in business for both groups involved, ours and theirs. And essentially it's generating smart baskets for their traders, and they operate across 15 exchanges as well. So we'll see how that goes, shapes up, and we'll keep you updated on that. That's also, of course, more reason to communicate to the public. And on the strategy side, going back to the dataset outlets, the dataset aggregators, the dataset vendors, we'll be working with those groups in full swing this week. So we anticipate a lot of signups. And on the Bloomberg side, we have not received word back from Bloomberg's journalist that wanted to talk to us about what we were doing with COVID-19 data sets. So we've sent them an update related to this new data set we have available. And we'll also be sending them an update on the fact that we are working with their alternative data division. So we'll see how that goes. We are all about customer acquisition, and this means with updating data sets on the life sciences and the financial side. All pipelines of distribution are pipelines we lay for new products. That's also very important related to our dataset distribution points. Approved drug compounds correlated to approved drug compounds in the context of COVID-19 lead to approved drug compounds correlated to publicly traded pharmaceutical companies, which then leads to data sets available to the financial market side related to shorting the market, which we see the market is pretty toppy right now. We intend to deploy data sets at every distribution point possible. So not just the 50 that I mentioned, but this is an ongoing process of keeping them updated and refreshing our descriptions with richer links and richer ways to convert. And just to reiterate, each distribution point is an ongoing communication to the public. And that's very important right now because there's a lot of noise out there coming from all areas, as we all know. This was a pre-recorded call, so if anyone has any questions, you can find us online and submit your questions there. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.